After you invest your first $10,000, everything becomes faster and more efficient. Returns start to compound at a higher dollar amount. Your portfolio can generate income, and you unlock access to strategies that make no sense with smaller accounts. And the time it takes to reach the next milestone gets way shorter. Most people never reach this point because the early stage is slow. A few $100s invested doesn't move much in the beginning, and it's easy to quit before the effects of compounding begin. But once you pass $10,000 invested, the entire system starts working differently. Getting to $10,000 invested is harder than it looks, not because it's complex, but because results are limited early on. If your portfolio is $1,000 and you earn a 10% return, that's only $100. But if your portfolio is $10,000 and you earn the same return, that's $1,000. It's the same performance, but 10 times the result. This is why early investors stop. They invest $100 a month, and after a year, they've saved around $1,200, maybe $1,300 with gains. It looks small, but that's only because compounding hasn't had time to scale. The first $10,000 is the slowest, but after that, the pace improves automatically, without changing your monthly contributions. Let's take a closer look at that, because compounding relies on two factors: growth rate and balance size. At low balances, even strong growth has minimal impact. But once your invested amount passes $10,000, returns begin to stack in larger blocks. Let's take a look at this example. A 7% annual return on $10,000 generates $700 per year. Keep contributing monthly, and your balance grows even faster, not just from your own money, but from returns on returns. However, after the $10,000 mark, small increases in contribution or return rate create larger differences in outcomes. Because once you have $5,000 invested, earning 7% annually with $200 monthly contributions, your portfolio reaches around $21,400 in 5 years. But if you start from $10,000 instead, and under the same conditions, it hits over $28,500. This is the point where time starts to work in your favor, and where long-term growth gets more efficient, even if nothing else changes. So once your portfolio reaches $10,000, your approach can expand beyond the basics. When you're just starting out, the only goal is to grow your investment amount, using things like broad ETFs, automated monthly contributions, and reinvesting dividends. But once you pass $10,000, you could start optimizing without increasing risk. Here's what changes. First, diversification becomes more precise. You can add satellite positions, like a sector ETF, a REIT, or a dividend-focused fund, without reducing your core. And if you don't know what I mean by satellite positions and your core, you can watch this video, which will exactly explain this specific investing strategy. But in short, the idea is that you have one main investment, the core, which is usually a broad ETF like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. And around that core, you add satellites. And those satellites are simply smaller add-on investments that give you extra exposure to one specific area, like a technology ETF or a few individual stocks. Second, you could start targeting income, and it actually makes a difference. With $10,000 invested, even a 4% yield gives you around $400 per year in income. That's enough to reinvest into additional shares, build a cash buffer, or cover a small recurring expense. At lower balances, those same income strategies barely make a difference, but now they start producing usable results. This is where investments like covered call ETFs, monthly dividend ETFs, or REITs start making sense. Not as a replacement for your core, but as additions that bring steady income without needing to sell any shares. And finally, your next goal becomes more realistic. Going from $10,000 to $25,000 doesn't take 2.5 times longer. It's faster, because now your investments are helping you get there. A 10% return on $10,000 is $1,000. Add $200 a month, and you're already at $17,500 within 24 months. Even your decision-making usually improves after you hit $10,000. Because early on, every choice feels critical. What to buy, when to buy, whether you pick the right stock or ETF. But after $10,000, the individual trade matters less than the system you've built. Because now your outcome depends more on how consistent you are, not on a single move. You stop focusing on trying to double your money fast, and instead, you focus on allocation, rebalancing, and keeping your system running. And that's where most of the long-term gains come from. You also start thinking in terms of opportunity cost. For example, if you're sitting on $2,000 in cash inside a $10,000 portfolio, you know that's 20% not working for you. So you stop letting cash sit there by default, and you decide exactly when to put it to work. You think about keeping some cash available, but also about putting your money to work efficiently. You also manage risk differently, because you know exactly how much exposure each position has. If $8,000 is in your core ETF and $2,000 is in a few satellite positions, you can calculate your percentages in seconds. This makes it easier to spot over-concentration and rebalance before problems start. You also track performance more practically. Instead of watching individual stock prices, you start watching how your entire portfolio's doing. You look at your asset allocation, not just whether one fund is up or down. And when the market starts moving a lot, you can handle it better because you've seen it before. If your portfolio drops 5%, that's $500. It's not fun, but it's expected. You've already built a system that can handle it. You just stay invested, keep contributing, and move on. This makes you a more stable investor. You don't jump in and out based on news headlines or panic when prices fall. You treat it like a plan, not a prediction. And because of that, your long-term results improve automatically. You avoid the biggest mistake most people make, pulling out at the worst time. And at this stage, your entire view of success becomes clearer. Early on, it's easy to get caught up in comparing yourself to others. You see someone on social media with a $100,000 portfolio, and you think you're behind. But when you've reached $10,000 yourself, you know exactly how much work and consistency it took to get there. So you stop focusing on what others are doing, and you start focusing on what you can control. That's a massive shift. It gives you peace of mind, because you're not chasing every new trend anymore. You've got a system you trust, and now your job is just to keep feeding it. You also get more curious about the next step. Now that your base is built, you start asking other questions. What if part of this portfolio could actually send me income every month? What if I could grow that income until it covers something, like groceries, a bill, or even a weekend trip? And the truth is, once you're past $10,000, that goal isn't far off. You're in the perfect position to start adding income-focused investments, things that pay you simply for holding them. This is where many investors first experience what it feels like to be paid by their portfolio, not by selling anything, but simply by owning the right assets, the ones that pay you dividends, which means you get actual cash from your investments without needing to sell any shares. And that shift is more than financial, it's psychological, because when you see your money start producing money without you needing to do anything extra, your whole relationship with investing starts to change. It goes from something you have to do to something you get more excited about and want to grow, because it's finally giving back. So if you're feeling like the $10,000 mark is just a checkpoint, you're right. It's a sign that you've built the habits, the mindset, and the momentum to keep going. And more importantly, it's the point where your portfolio starts to take over some of the heavy lifting for you. And if you've made it this far, or you're on your way, just know that you're not the only one. There are so many others on the same path, figuring it out step by step, learning what works and what doesn't. That's why we've put together a little place where investors like us can connect. It's called the Griffin Wise Investing Community. It's completely free, and you could be one of the first to join it through the link in the description. Whether you want to post your portfolio, get feedback on your strategy, chat with fellow investors, or just follow along and learn in the background, you could do it all inside our own community. And if you want to see what happens if you invest $100 every month for 10 years, you could watch the next video.